Hi. Okay. Here we are. I'm going to do a workout with some props today. I want a little more feedback from gravity, and so I'm going to put ankle weights on my wrists. Actually, go get these things while we're talking about it. Grab some ankle weights. I keep it really simple and cheap and just use some cans. This is a really large Pilates ball. Any size kind of Pilates ball, or even like kids pool ball, handball would work. A block could even work instead of a ball. And I have a really thick band. We want to have the band for a little extra feedback during this standing sequence. So what we're going to do is do a series of standing poses, and then we're going to get on our back and do some back like feedback from the floor, working the core, really isolated core. But even when we're standing, we're going to be really focusing on the core, because sometimes just isolating and doing core work on the ground is limiting. Like, we can only get to a certain point, and sometimes it might be like we can't really get into the core because the core is not strong enough to do the shapes to their fullest potential. So in these standing poses, I really want to make sure that you're getting into the core. All right, so we're gonna get to it. Let's put those the ankle weights on the hands, and it's actually a lot hotter than I thought it was gonna be. Okay, so ankle weights are going on the wrists. Yeah, sometimes it's just like you need like a little bit of feedback from, these are like, what's going on here? You need a little bit of feedback from gravity. Does that make sense? It's like you might feel like a little out of control. Like there's a lot happening in your life that you cannot control. And maybe it's just me. I'm having some trouble with these weights. Maybe it's just me, but that feeling is uncomfortable. And sometimes when I work out with weight or extra feedback, it helps me kind of like get put in my place. Okay, so the first thing is just we're going to stretch. So we have this extra weight on the hands, and just kind of notice how it feels to stretch the body authentically with this extra weight. Reaching one hand up, feeling the side body stretch, reaching the other hand up. You know, just kind of moving and grooving, just stretching out, pointing the toes, reaching the hands, rotating the torso, kicking the butt, reaching the arms forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. Yeah, feeling kind of alive. I'm feeling a little bit more alive, doing a little half moon shape. You know, there's really no wrong way to warm up. Let's do little cat cows. Okay, that's good. And now, band. We're gonna put the ball in between the legs, and we're gonna do arm circles. This ball is huge. Okay, so I'm squeezing the ball between my legs. I'm kind of getting to the point where my knees are hip width distance, right? Then I'm gonna squeeze my butt. So everything is squeezing up and in. Okay, so this is like the beginning of the core. The arches of the feet are lifting up, the toes are spread out wide. Squeeze the ball, squeeze the butt, open up through the front body, reach the arms all the way up, and then hands about shoulder width, just shoulder height. Okay, we're gonna make a gentle fist. We're gonna do arm circles, or maybe it's more appropriate to say we're doing shoulder circles. I'm gonna do 10 in each direction. So you know, we usually do these a lot. We'll do like 20, 25 each direction, but with this extra weight, we're just gonna do about 10. Yeah, let's do 4, 3, 2, 1. Notice my arms are straight here, and I'm doing my circles from the shoulder joint. 10 in the other direction, looking right, looking left. Relax the shoulders, draw the shoulders toward each other, and open up through the chest. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then before you go down, go up. Give yourself that extra little challenge. And then hands to the heart. Whew. Good stuff. Okay, now let's grab those cans. Squeeze the cans, reach the arms up, elbows up. And the elbows don't have to be like squeezing by the head. They're just kind of comfortably up. We're gonna let the hands go down by the shoulders, and then reach the arms up. So the key here is that I'm squeezing the cans and engaging through my front body, opening up through the front body, and keeping security in my lower back. Do 6, making sure we're getting extension. 5, 4, so I'm kind of playing around right now, separating my hands, bringing my hands together, and 2, and last one. All right, open up the arms. Woo, that feels good. Okay, still squeezing the ball. Let's do that one more time. So we're gonna reach arms out, parallel to the ground, make gentle fists, circles one direction 10 times. Arms are straight. You can see your hands in your peripheral vision, so you're not going too far back. Squeeze the abs up and in and switch directions. 4, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Squeeze the abs. Woo, and then arms go up. Reach the hands together, interlace the fingers, reach the palms up toward the sky, and squeeze the butt, lift through the arches of the feet, lifting pelvic floor, up and in, or I guess up and then in from the navel. All right, and now cans again, and we're gonna do those tricep things again. Okay, so my hands are gonna be touching, but my elbows are in a like kind of a comfortable place, so I'm not squeezing and putting too much pressure in the top of my shoulder. We got 8 more. 7. Ooh, my hair stick. 6, 5, 4, 2. Squeeze the cans, lifting up and in with the belly. Okay, and then we're finished. We're going to reach the arms all the way out and slowly, thoughtfully letting the hands go down. Let's roll the shoulders a few times. And the other direction. Okay, so we're going to do a little like lunge, deadlift kind of variation to work, keep going into the upper body, the shoulders, and the back. So let's do a lunge. So just casually get into a lunge. Let's do right foot first. And we're gonna run through this little sequence 2 times, just like we did the arms. Okay, so my lunge has some nice integrity. It's not like my widest lunge. And first we're gonna do a row. So before we do the row, you can see I'm arching my lower back. I'm gonna try to take the arch out of the lower back. I'm still opening up through the chest. I'm gonna bring my hands in front of my knee. And then I'm gonna row the arms back. So I'm changing the orientation of my hands. Thumbs together, and then pinkies up. Exhale to pump the elbows by your side body. Inhale, the cans touch. Exhale up. Let's do 10 from here. So about 15 in total. And I'm keeping some energy in my back foot, squeezing the butt. And 5, squeeze the cans, reaching the elbows as high as you can. For 3, and 2, and 1. So before we come all the way out, we're gonna reach the arms all the way up into that high lunge, opening up through the front body, getting that stretch. And then on an exhale, pivot on the balls of the feet over to the other side. Now left foot's forward. And we're gonna do more of a W arm position now. So hands are gonna start in front of the knee again, but we're gonna reach the elbows out, broad arms. Inhale down, exhale, reach for 15. So that was 2. Getting the elbows up as high as they can, squeeze the belly. We got 10 more. Giving yourself another little lift once you get up. See how high the elbows can get up, how relaxed the shoulders can be, opening through the neck. Ideally your cans are not clinking like how mine are. We got 5, 4, squeeze the cans, squeeze the belly, let the belly be really tight so you feel like your torso is very strong. Squeeze the butt for 2 and 1. Whew. Reach the arms up, high lunge, inhale and high lunge. Exhale here, and then inhale, pivot. Let's take a 5-pointed star for a moment. And then inhale, arms come back up, pivot over to the other side, right foot's forward. We're gonna do the row arms again, so reach the hands in front of the knees. And so the thumbs will be together, and then we'll row it back. We're returning the wrists. Pinkies up, and then pinkies down. Ten more. Try to get that C-shaped curve with the lower back so that we're drawing up and in from the lower belly muscles. Squeeze the butt. See how high up the elbows can get. Squeeze the muscles between the shoulder blades. Legs are active. Thighs are active. 4, 3, 2. Last one, reach it up, get your elbows up as high as you can, and then press the hands all the way up to a high lunge. Pause in the lunge, open up through your front body. Feel stability on front and back leg equally. Exhale here. Inhale, pivot, 5-pointed star. Inhale, reaching up, pivoting, getting into your lunge on the other side. And then we're gonna do the W arms. So hands come in front of the knee, elbows go totally out, same height as shoulder. So elbows are going out at the shoulder height. You can see them in your periphery. And then you're squeezing your butt, squeezing your belly muscles in. If you're feeling any kind of pressure in your lower back, try to round your spine a little bit more and open up through your chest. And maybe don't lean over as much. Maybe stay more upright. Got 10 more. Count it down. And last one. Woo. Reach up to that high lunge. Open up your arms, wide legs, 5-pointed star. And then let's take a forward fold. Exhale. Let the hands go down. Let's see, let's take off the wrist weights. All right, fish around for that strap. Grab the band. And then heel toe your feet a little closer together, forward fold. And kind of breathe and undulate your spine here for a moment. And then ragdoll up. Okay, we're gonna put the band around the thighs. Okay, let's grab the ball. Okay, so we're gonna do some squats, holding the ball and putting outward pressure on your strap, on your band. Keep calling it a strap, it's a band. Okay, so when we're doing our squats, we're gonna do these 2 things 2 times just like we did the other 2. Okay, so we're gonna start with squeezing our butt. So you can see here, I'm trying to reduce that lower back curve. So I'm bringing pubic bone forward and up, squeezing the butt, squeezing the thighs, squeezing the ball between my hands at shoulder height. I'm gonna inhale here, and then I'm gonna exhale, hands go up, hips go down, same exhale, coming back to starting. So that's 1 cycle, 1 exhale. Inhale here, exhale down, resist the band, and keep exhaling, coming back up to standing. Okay, so that's 2. We're gonna do 10 more. Inhale, and exhale down, exhale up. Nice, squeezing the butt, squeezing abs up and in, getting length between belly and rib cage. Let's do 4, 3. Keep squeezing the ball, activating the upper arms. It's not so much about how fast you go, but how much you're working your muscles. Sometimes when we speed through an exercise, we won't get as much out of it as we can. Let's do 2 more if I lost count. And stay down for a second longer. Power up, squeeze the butt. Okay, now we're gonna do crab walks. Let's count it out. Let's do 6. I think that'll be good. Going over 3, back 3. Yeah, okay, I'm just working it out with you. This is great. Okay, so for the crab walks, let's find somehow to hold the ball. You can have squeezing your hands at your heart, you can have it extended, or you can have it up. I'm gonna hold it just about right here. So I'm gonna go over for about 4, just maybe the length of your yoga mat. Kicking the obstacles out of the way. And then 4 the other direction. So I'm staying low. It's gonna kind of get this out of the way for a second. And this one, you know, I think I've been healing a little thing on my knee here, and I'm wondering if this movement, I need to sit back lower and be really thoughtful about how I'm putting my weight. But I'm kind of wondering if this is where this pain is coming from. Okay, so I think this is our 3rd time going over to this side. Maybe it's just our 2nd. Woo! Woo! Be really careful how you're setting your feet down. And we're noticing the movement is coming from the femur. So we're trying not to move this whole knee joint very much, and just from the femur. So we're keeping this like a stationary piece. Woo! Squeeze it down a little bit more. Squeeze the butt, squeeze the abs, squeeze the ball, and power up like a rocket. Maybe that's not like a rocket. Power up thoughtfully. Okay, let's do that whole thing over again. So we're gonna do the squats one more time. Okay, so we inhale, exhale into the squat, and exhale out of the squat. Inhale. Two more. Last one. Oh, that's nice. All right, let's do the crab walks. This is just what I needed. I'm noticing this workout right now is actually making me feel more calm. It's like there's a lot of energy up here sometimes. And sometimes when we get it into our body, it's like, yes. This is familiar, the sense of peace. Okay, so this is my 2nd time here. Beep. 2. 2. Okay, now this is 3rd. I'm feeling it. This feels good. This feels good. I'm gonna go over here for the last one. Squeeze the ball. Woo! Lower down into a deeper squat. Squeeze butt and abs and reach it all the way up. Okay, now we're gonna go down. Let's take off these items. We don't need any of this again, actually. So let's put this off to the side. I'm a little out of breath. I'm gonna lower this down because I'm gonna go on my back. Okay, so we got scissor legs, open wide cross, 45 to hover, flutter kicks, flutter bounces. Actually, we do want the ball for the very last movement. Okay, so we got 5 things. Let's see if I can remember them. Starting on our backs, nice and easy. So how do we get down on our backs? Zip up and in, length, and then C-shaped curve. All right, here we are on the back. All right, zip the lower back down, zip up and in, right? Everything's up and in, up and in. Exhale, up and in. Reach the legs high, point and flex, warm up the ankles. And now point, exhale, lower one, inhale, bring that one up, and exhale, take it to the other side. You can kind of zip your hands underneath your butt cheeks if you want. That's going to help you keep that C-shaped curve. So each leg's going down 10 times. That was 3, and 3, and 4, and 4. Okay, notice my feet are staying pointed. Notice I'm staying relaxed in my chest, in my face, in my neck, trying to at least. And that's 6, and 6. Zipping up and in, up and in, up and in. So that means I'm bringing hip points and rib, lowest rib to each other. Whew. So much so that it's kind of hard to talk. And 2, and 2 more. Last one on each side, down and up, and exhale, exhale. Inhale here, exhale, knees into chest. Whew. Okay, next one is the flutter kick, or not the flutter kicks, the open wide, which I'm too close to my cabinet here. So I'm just gonna go as open as I can. Open and close. And I'm at about a 45-degree angle here. You can be up here, like an 80. Kind of take it down and feel how low you can go. My feet are pointed, my quads are engaged, my butt's engaged as much as I can in this shape. Whew. And I'm continuing to squeeze in the abs. Let's do 10, 9, 8, 7. Squeeze those inner thighs when you're bringing your legs together. Let's do 2 more. 2 and 1. Legs go out, legs come in. Give the knees a little press. Okay, now we're gonna go 45 to hover. So we're gonna start with the legs up, get your hands in position, and then find 45 degrees. Where's 45 degrees? About right there. I'm gonna go Pilates V, heels together, toes apart, exhale down, exhale up. Inhale here, exhale down, exhale up. Inhale here. 7 more. All right, 1 more. And then toes together, knees in. Set the feet down. Okay, so we're building this up, and we're gonna go out with a bang. So the next one is very similar. It's that same 45 to hover, but we're gonna alternate the legs like we're fluttering, like a swim kind of position. And the last one, we're gonna flutter the legs, but keep them together, more like a little dolphin. Okay, and that's when we're gonna use the ball. Okay, so put your hands in position to help yourself get that C-shaped curve. And then feet together. Point your toes. And now we're going to flutter the legs. And I'm just going to count to 30. Squeeze the butt. You can feel the butt squeezed on your hands. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. In with the knees. Grab that ball. All right, we're going out nice and strong. So ankles hold the ball. Hands in position. Bring the feet to about 45 or lower. Let it go down and up for 20, 19. Squeeze the ball as hard as you possibly can. I know it sounds crazy. That's going to really turn on your inner thighs. 2, and 1. Whew. Knees in. Release the ball. Let's grab onto the feet. Reach the legs straight. Or straight-ish. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. And then rock and roll up. Great, and then sit down. All right, almost there. Let's just do a little cool down. Legs apart. And kind of let the torso sway while the legs stay more rooted and feeling more stretched through the legs as the torso sways. Kind of helping that the legs can just breathe into any of the tightness, any of the tension. And then reaching torso forward and back, taking big circles, opening through the chest and rounding in the lower belly. In the other direction. Move the shoulders around. Reach the arms up and over the head, and then bring the legs together into a butterfly position. Grab onto the toes, bring your heels in, flutter the knees. And then knees together into a tabletop position. From our tabletop, let's run through some cat-cow. Slowing down the breath. And then knees go out so you can get into a little Sphinx position. Let's take some space between the feet. Sway the hips side to side. Roll the shoulders forward, up and back. Plant the hands, including the thumbprint. Breathe into the chest. Breathe into the belly. Relax through the hips. That feels good. Okay, hands under the shoulders, curl the toes under, press back into child's pose. And walk yourself back to a seated position. And there we are. We did it. What was that, like 20-30 minutes? Not bad. I feel good. I feel different. Let me know how you feel. Thank you for playing.